Hi, we're here with Garrett. Garrett, what's our next vehicle here in your collection?
As was mentioned previously, I collect uncommon and/or classic British cars. I have 22, ranging from a 1919 Argston three-wheel electric, a 1927 Family Morgan, a 1948 Armstrong Siddeley Hurricane, a Lotus Esprit from the 80s, a Jaguar XKR Coupe, and then a new Bentley Bentayga. However, there's 22 of them total. And to be personal here, I'm getting old. I just turned 80. I've got some eyeball issues. And frankly, it's gotten to be a lot of work to exercise 22 cars. You can't just let them sit. So in summary, I'm kind of thinning the herd, so to speak.
Excellent. So what do we have here?
As to this one, this is a very uncommon car. People probably watching this will realize it's a Beardmore, not an Austin. 90% of the London taxis are Austins. The high-end maker was Beardmore. They were so high-end, they actually never made any money. It was called the Rolls-Royce of taxis. However, they all look alike. Beardmores and Austins, essentially similar. This one's 1958. It was owned for decades by the chairman of the London Vintage Taxicab Society. And then the last decade, subsequent decade, it was owned by a fellow in Hawaii named Parker Smith, a name some of you may be able to recognize, as in Parker Wrench. Big British car collector. Nice guy. I bought it from him. I've had it 15 years.
You've had it for 15 years.
Yeah, I bought it in '09.
How many miles do you think you put on it?
Oh, you know, the earlier confession comes up again. I'm not really a car guy. My car interest is mostly aesthetic. I'm not into engines. Lucky if I know where they are. However, that disclaimer aside, I have two mechanics, part-time.
Right.
One of them is with us this evening.
Right.
Mr. Haig. I can't pronounce his last name. And another younger fellow. And they come over every 3 weeks religiously. We drive them. Don't go far, but we get them cooking. Because if I'm not able to repair them, all the more reason why I need to make sure they're maintained. So total mileage that I've put on this, I don't know, a couple hundred.
Right.
If I go to a car show on the freeway, I put it on a trailer.
Right.
I don't think this would be a good thing to take on a freeway. It's kind of clumsy given it's a London taxi.
Right.
Everything works. The only thing I don't know, just being honest, Derek today was here helping me with other cars, and it came up conversationally. I don't know, this meter, I was told it works, but I don't have the correct coinage. And or, to be honest again, I don't want to mess with it and do the wrong thing. It looks kind of complicated. I don't have a lot of mechanical
So what you're
skill.
saying is when we take it for test drive, we may not be able to charge anyone for a cab fare.
No, I thought we could go to the airport and kind of get some bucks back on my investment here, but if you're not interested. Well, speaking of picking up people, that reminds me, I'll open this up. It has jump seats.
Oh, look at this.
Yeah, it's really in nice shape. All original.
Oh, wow.
Everything is original.
Look at that. You even got some literature.
Those came with the car. They're vintage ads that they would, if people weren't sitting there, they could sell things to the back seat. And then there's stuff like this, which is obviously all original.
Oh yeah, look at that. Right. Well, there's our fare table right there. We just to make sure we have the right amount of fennings and pounds to put in there, right? It looks like the headliner's sagging just a little bit right there.
That I hadn't noticed, but you might be right. Oh yeah, yeah. Original, so not surprising.
Right.
They
But all of
also
this interior looks very original.
The original MOT, the London's
look at that.
DMV thing.
How about that? Excellent. And look at these little labels.
The only thing, again, fessing up, Haig agrees and my other helper mechanic, they both suggested for efficiency and convenience, the only thing someone might want to do is put on an electric fuel pump. It
Okay.
works. It starts,
Right.
obviously.
Well,
but-
we're going to take it for a test drive.
Yeah.
So.
So if someone wanted to get ambitious,
Excellent.
it's a diesel, a
Right.
Perkins diesel.
Okay.
That's a famous, like, iron mother of diesels.
Fantastic.
I've been told. With it comes a car cover. The California plates are real.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, and
Okay.
you saw the door on the other side. This is
Yeah. Heathrow Taxi.
a nice
Right.
touch. Yeah.
Very cool.
And we'll show you at the table in a minute. It has the
Oh, right. The California plates are on the table. Okay.
yeah. Now it has the original documents from the cab driver who owned it in London,
Oh, you're
interviewed. It
No
also
way.
has all the paperwork for when this cab was made.
kidding. Really?
And that's the credit there. It doesn't go to me. It's the guy, the chairman of the Vintage Cab Club, who had it for decades and made a lifelong a hobby out of this car.
Excellent.
I have all the correspondence, reams of correspondence, of part sources, where do you get replacement pieces, who can fix this, who can fix that. Again, given lack of knowledge on my own part, and I'm basically an academic, so I had a
Right.
lot of fun actually identifying resources. Local, San Pedro, guy down there fixes Perkins.
See these Lucas lights?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Excellent. Very cool.
Yeah, the history is documented from the day it was built, including, as I mentioned, the actual cab driver in London.
Okay.
It drives, starts, and stops. As I already mentioned, it's been exercised every 3 weeks. I'm really anal about that. The luggage is included except that backpack.
Can you demonstrate this trunk?
Yeah, there's this key.
Look at this.
The original key, if that's what it would be called.
Okay.
Little tool, really. And you just give it a 1/4 turn. And, oh yeah, there's a little, it's got the spare tire,
Oh, look at that.
first aid
Okay.
kit, just in case. Oh, and the jack, the original jack.
The scissor jack.
Yeah.
Okay. And then there's the lug wrench back in there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, I haven't been back here much, so.
Very nice. It looks like everything's in pretty good shape back here. Down
I don't
inside.
think, in fact, I'm quite sure, for better or worse, it's never been disassembled. But given the ownership history, there was no need.
Right. Okay. Over here we have the battery, which is
Yes.
down inside this running board area here. You have a story to tell me about this car.
Yeah.
What is it?
There's a two-level provenance. First, I already shared the owner for decades, the chairman of the London Taxi Club, which speaks well for the car. But I found it on the big island of Hawaii. I'll abbreviate why I got there. But anyway, on the big island of Hawaii, there's a guy there who has a paneled garage and collects British cars.
Right.
Lots of them. And I ended up looking at his collection one day and I saw this, and that ultimately led to my purchase. But along the way, I found out his full name. It wasn't John Smith, it was John Parker Smith. And some of you probably know one of the biggest cattle ranches out there is Parker Ranch on the big island of Hawaii. And one day I've been there, not to the ranch, but I've driven by, and I was waiting for my wife from work, and I Googled Parker Ranch. The sweet story. Turns out he's the grandson, the great-great-great-great-great-great-grandson of the cabin boy on Captain Cook's ship that discovered Hawaii in 1792. When the ship left, the kid stowed away on the island and now owns it. I asked him about this, and he politely didn't respond to that email. But when the cab came, it has this Hawaii DMV sticker on it. And I thought, well, I don't want that there. It's a London cab. I'm going to car shows. But you know, the story is so cool. I left the sticker on there.
Oh,
It
yeah.
gives me an excuse to share it. So with a
Fantastic.
smile.
All right.